she stepped off the bus out into the city streets. Not a lot packed in her bags, just a little iPod and the shoes that are on her feet. But she got one thing that she wants to do. When she walks into the club, she knows she gotta have some room. For Shane Diablo's podcast, it's fun. It's heavy metal and it's always fun. And that's what she wants to do tonight. So let's do it now, baby girl, let's hit the club. Let's do it, honey girl. Boy, that one was real bad. That was really, really bad. What I tried to do there was going to do a take on the Poison song. Are you familiar with that? Fix this camera here. The Poison song, stepping off the bus out into the city streets, just a whole lot packed in her suitcase by her feet. I failed. Guys, I failed. I've already failed you. Welcome, welcome one and all to episode 166 of Jive Talkin with Shane Diablo. This is a no request zone. I read your comments at the end of every episode. I love doing that. It's my favorite part of the podcast. We get through some heavy metal news stories, just kind of to kill some time. Then we get to your comments. That's my favorite part. I need a sip of my beverage. It was a premature launch. The whole thing. I just hit the buttons and went. I've told you guys before, the minute I get home, I get in the house, I clean the cat box out. I get to doing this shit. That's what I do. But welcome. We got so many stories, and I welcome you all, your comments, your ears on the podcast, your eyes on the podcast, all of that. A lot of great stories. Some of the stories we won't be talking about will be that Rob Halford has suffered with depression. We don't need to be talking about that. Bob Daisley's not going to go to the first big story we've got here. Black Sabbath are going to play one more show with Ozzy Osbourne and Bill Ward. And Bob Daisley says, I don't think I'm going to be there for that. But we've got a whole cavalcade of stories here from John Oliva of Sabotage. I was going to try and find the story about, I guess, Nico McBrain's wife assaulted someone. She's in jail for assault or something. I wanted to get to that. That's another story we're not going to be doing. We got Zakk Wylde in here. JJ French, Twisted Sister, he's going to finally answer the question, is rock truly dead? And I can't wait for that. Plus your comments. And I wanted to take a look at that video at the very end here before your comments of if I saw the news story where Courtney LaPlante, we've done them, Spirit Box. She was on the red carpet at the Grammys, and they said, and we've got a superstar here, Poppy. And so she played right along with it. And I wanted to watch that video. I haven't seen it, but I heard she kind of just went along with it and didn't say, oh, you've got the wrong band and you got the wrong gal here. The real shame is the bit that I did see from the Grammys where these people on the red carpet, which I'm sure they're perfectly good people in their own way, but really rude right here in this moment. The reporters, they ask all the questions. Babyface, 13-time Grammy Award-winning Babyface walks up to the microphone. And right behind him is Chappell Roan, the new pop star diva. And so he starts to talk. Oh, so what's like the 13 Grammys? Oh my goodness. And and then as soon as they see her, they go, oh, Chappell. And he goes, oh, you want me to get out of the way? That dude has written songs for everybody. He's won 13 Grammys. So giving some of them to those gals or whoever it was. I'm assuming it's the same two that interviewed Courtney LaPlante. Let's get into it, my friends, my sweet, sweet friends. I do have some side stories that I hope you remind me about. There's a Kiss concert you guys have to see. I will blow your mind with some Sammy Hagar. And another item on here that I may or may not talk about. But it is that time for heavy metal news. Let's put those up. Let's put them right up there. Come on, you can do it. Let your ego go. Don't say, Shane, I'm alone and I'm watching this. It's ridiculous. I don't want to do that. Do it. All right. Now we put them together and we begin. Ozzy Osbourne, he wants to play one last show with Black Sabbath. It's a cavalcade of stars. Another side story to this is Papa Emeritus 5, Papa Perpetua, is going to be unveiled at the final show of the Ghost current tour, and he's going to make his first appearance at this Black Sabbath gig. Let's get into it, find out. Original Black Sabbath to play. Final show in July with Metallica, Slayer, Pantera, and other supporting acts. They will get into that, I do believe, and so let's dive in. Have I said that like 3 times already? The original lineup of Black Sabbath: Ozzy Osbourne, Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler, and the man Bill Ward will play its final concert in July. Now, they did do that back tour, but Bill Ward wasn't with them, right? Dubbed Back to the Beginning, the charity show will be held at Villa Park in Birmingham, United Kingdom on July 5th, with tickets on sale from 10 a.m. on February 14th. That's Valentine's Day. Great gift to get your lover. You're getting some, right? If you say, we are flying to fucking Birmingham, England to see the final Black Sabbath show, and you get those tickets right then, you say, and I bought these on Valentine's Day, you're getting some. You're going to make love. Finally, after all these years, you're going to actually do it. All the big names are going to be there. Pantera, Slayer, Metallica. Rounding out the event will be an all-star group featuring Billy Corgan, Smashing Pumpkins. Spoiler alert, we have Smashing Pumpkins this Sunday. One of the songs we're doing, remember that Alice Cooper, they're all clones, the clones video we did? The Smashing Pumpkins do a version of Clones, We're All. And we're checking that out. Fred Durst, the Limp Bizkit. Jonathan Davy Davis, the Korn, and Wolfgang, my heavens to Betsy Van Halen. You don't go nowhere without him. He's really made something of himself, I must agree with that. And many others. Morello will also serve as the musical director for the event. What is Morello promising? This will be the greatest heavy metal show ever. See the full list of performers in the poster below. We'll look at that poster. All proceeds for the show will go to Birmingham Charities Cure Parkinson's Disease, the Birmingham Children's Hospital, and Acorn Children's. Osbourne comments, it's my time to go back to the beginning. Time for me to give back to the place where I was born. How blessed I am to do it with the help of people whom I love. Birmingham is truly home of metal. Birmingham forever. Oh, Metallica. This is officially all of them, like a doo-wop group. You know, it's got Kirk. They're all singing kind of the message, except for Mark Trujillo. You know, he's the newer guy. He's got to stand in the very, very back. We are beyond honored and humbled to be invited to perform at the Black Sabbath's final show. Back where it all began in Birmingham, England. On July 5th at Villa Park, home of Aston Villa. Ozzy Osbourne, Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler, and Bill Ward will reunite to play their first show together in 20 years. How old a boy would I have been? 32? 20 years ago, 32, I would have been 32. Tickets go on sale. Yeah. At 10 a.m. GMT. It's General Mountain Time. On Friday, February 14th, via Ticketmaster, UK, and Live Nation. Those two right there, there'll be some fees in it. There'll be some fees in there. As part of this huge celebration of nearly 6 decades of Black Sabbath, we'll hit the stage just before a short solo set from Ozzy, the Ozman, Osbourne, followed by the Mighty Sabbath closing the show. Anthrax, Alice in Chains, Gojira, Hailstorm, Lamb of God, Mastodon, Pantera, and Slayer will also be part of this massive, massive night. Who's playing first? I'm saying Hailstorm. This is my list, guys. First to rocking it. Now, Gojira did just win a Grammy, spoiler alert. They did just win it. And we're not even doing a story about him, so it don't matter. But Gojira did, in fact, win a Grammy. So here's how I think it's going to go. Hailstorm's kicking it off. It's a fight for first place right there. Anthrax and Hailstorm, they're battling each other out. So however that goes, we're going to say Hailstorm first, Anthrax second. Alice in Chains. I'm going to say Slayer. No, I'm going to say Mastodon. No, I'm going to say Lamb of God, Mastodon, Pantera, Slayer, Gojira, Metallica. That's what I'm going to say. An incredible lineup of musicians from around the globe will also be on hand to pay tribute, including the Billy Corgan, David Draymond, Disturbed, Duff McKagan, and Slash. We just learned Slash speaks. I didn't know that. We did a story about him where he did an interview, which was weird because I thought he was just the Top Hat man. Frank Bello of Anthrax, Fred Durst, the Limp Bizkit, Jake E. Lee. How sweet is that? Jake E. Lee's going to be there. I mean, like they're announcing that he's going to be there. That means like he's going to either speak on something like, hey, man, rock and roll. Let bygones be bygones. The aliens and shit are here, so I don't even care anymore about the credits to the Ultimate Sin record and Bark at the Moon and stuff. It's over, man. It is over. Is that what Jakey Lee's going to say? Jonathan Davis of Korn, KK Downing, Liz Hale of Hailstorm, Mike Borden, Faith No More, Rudy Sarso, Sammy Hagar, the Space Prophet. I'm doing a video next Wednesday or next Friday. And it's going to be about Sammy Hagar being a space prophet. And it's going to blow your socks off. And if you listen into this later, I'm going to tell you something to go check out it's going to blow your mind. About Sammy Hagar, the space prophet. Scott Ian, Anthrax, and Sleep Token. Sleep Token, so the guy 2 from Sleep Token's going to be there. And there he is. Papa V. Perpetua. Ghost Day. I'm kind of a fanboy for Ghost. I'm not going to lie. I don't think I'm going to pay to go see him anymore because I've seen him like 5 or 6 times, and I think I'm over it now. Tom Morello's, again, he's going to be there, the Wolfgang and the Zakk Man. We got the Zakk Man Wylde coming up in a story here. Talk about his favorite musical moment ever. In the studio, I guess. All profits from the night will go to the following charity. Yeah, Cure Parkinson's, Children's Hospitals, and Hospice. Wonderful, wonderful. Our admiration for Black Sabbath runs deep, and we cannot wait to be part of this historic event. We'll see you in Birmingham. A year ago, Sharon said that Ozzy was hoping to play a farewell concert at Birmingham's Villa Park as a goodbye to his fans. Black Sabbath is considered the pioneers of heavy metal and was formed in 1968 in Aston, Birmingham. Black Sabbath has sold over 75 million records, and we do know that. So let's get off that. John Oliva. Now, do you guys remember we did a Savatage story because they are sorry, John, I had you down so damn low. You got to go hear that song off of it still kind of cracks me up. Get these ads out of here. Had enough of it. It's on that Jesus Saves record from Savatage. Get these damn ads down. They do those pop-ups. But he says something about, it's a piano number. Gotta get back. I never meant to take it too far. But he says something about, and here goes this laptop. You're going to start winding up. So if it gets loud here in a minute, you're going to know. But he says something about, when Spock and Kirk has had enough, and no one's left to beat me up. It's wonderful. Anyways, John Oliva on a new Savatage record. In that story, I'm very flighty. I'm sorry about that. I apologize. as I clean off the counter in the middle of the podcast. Clean off the counter in the middle of the podcast. We did a story about sabotage, and I was saying, I hope John Oliva is going to be part of this damn thing, because I want him to be singing and doing whatever he does. Keyboards. John Oliva on a new Sabotage music. I basically have an album ready. So we know at least he's writing it. After more than 2 decades without a proper tour, Sabotage is preparing to return to the stage. The American metal band, known for its fusion of heavy metal, progressive, and power metal, has been largely inactive in the live scene since 2002, with their last full performance taking place at Wacken Open Air in 2015. Now, they are set for a series of concerts across South America in April and Europe in June. The return begins in Brazil, where Sabotage will perform at the Monsters of Rock Festival on April 19th at Aliens Parque, Sao Paulo, Brazil. The event will also feature Scorpions, Judas Priest, Europe, Opeth, Queensryche, and Stratovarius. This is also speculation. There is also speculation about Sabotage's solo concert at Epicau Animed on April 21st, though it has yet to be officially confirmed. However, one key member will be missing. John Oliva, Sabotage founding vocalist and keyboardist. In 2000, like I'm going to Sao Paulo. You see that video that we did about the 4 fiddlers? When Ola invited me to go to Bucharest? You think I can go to Bucharest? You think I can go to Brazil to see this concert? Why am I mad that John Oliva's not going to be there? Oliva suffered a T7 vertebra fracture in 3 places, a severe injury that has left him relying on a wheelchair. Additionally, he was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis and Meniere's disease. What's that? Can someone get in the comments and tell me what that is? Conditions that have further complicated his health. John, why did you do all that cocaine? All those years on that. He even wore t-shirts and stuff that said, like they had the Coca-Cola logo, but it said cocaine. They get crazy for that shit. I'll tell you a little story. Mama Diablo, she was a younger gal. She was tooting that stuff. Long time. And here's a wacky story for you. So my sister goes into the doctor with my mom at one point. The doctor's checking her out or something, says, your septum is missing. And they're like, or is that what it is? Whatever that thing is, septum? I want to say it's a septum. And my sister's sitting there with her, and she says, yeah, is it? You're saying there's like a hole in my nose or something like that? And anyways, the doctor says, I've never seen that. The only time I've seen a burnt whatever the fuck it is when some severe cocaine use. But she was, no, I don't do that. I don't do that kind of stuff. So what I'm saying, John, is get off it. If you're on it, and I'm not saying that you are, because you're probably not, but I think it's fair to say that you liked it back in the day, right? In a new interview with Brazilian music journalist Igor Miranda, Oliva repeatedly emphasized that his injuries prevent him from taking part in the tour, explaining how his condition has affected even basic activities, let alone performing. I can't even sing right now because of the pain. So that other guy's going to sing on it? I mean, I know there's people that really love that era, but I like the John Oliva stuff. I can't stand for too long, and I need time for my vertebra to heal naturally. When we asked about surgery as a possible solution, maybe you get the same guy that Blackie Lawless goes to. Oliva explained that he considered it, but ultimately decided against it after seeking advice from medical professionals and acquaintances. Don't listen to the acquaintances, John. Acquaintance isn't even a friend. It's just somebody you know. It's like the guys you work with. You know, you're not going to invite them over for, a barbecue. You're like, I see enough of them at work. I don't need to see a bit more. They're acquaintances. They wanted to put metal in my body. But people I spoke to told me not to do it, that I would regret it. So I chose to let it heal naturally. It's not going to heal naturally, John. And who doesn't want metal in their body if they can get it? I mean, I guess as a kid you were always going, that'd be awesome to have a metal arm or whatever, But come on, John. You know and I know it's not going to heal naturally, okay? So let's stop with that. Despite his absence from the tour, Oliva remains deeply involved with Sabotage on the money end of it. I'm going to write all the songs, and therefore I will get the publishing for those. And you, lunkheads, can go out and perform them and get a performance fee. I think that's the way that works. He spoke about the band's legacy, the music's ability to withstand time, as it almost seems like it does, and the status of their long-awaited new album. When asked about his favorite, did I miss something? When asked about his favorite, doesn't matter now. Jesus. When asked about his favorite Sabotage record, Please Let It Be Hall of the Mountain King? Oh, I saw Streets of Rock Opera. That's got that song on it. And Spock and Kirk have had enough. Wonder if I could get away with playing that. Just that part. Don't look at my playlists. Streets Rock Opera. And I'm going to what's the song called? Sorry guys, this podcast's really taking a left field, but can you hear me now? This is a great record, Streets, a rock opera. Gotta get back. Somewhere in Time? No. You're not going to hear any of this if... No, that's not it either. Ghost in the... Oh my God, guys, I'm really beefing this. That's a great song. Can you hear me? Oh, a little too far. Here we go. Okay, pause. Oh boy. This is going to go so great. I know every word of this. When John Wayne caught the last train out. Okay, here it is, right here. He says, and all the things I'm trying to get it to the perfect part. Okay, here we go. We're just going to do it. Let me turn up the volume. Jesus, I'm really suck. I just want this part. If you don't hear it, you know what happened. When John Wayne caught the last train out. Right here. Spock and Kirk had enough, and no one's left to be me. I listened to that and giggled 1,000 times. Now I damn near cried to it. Okay? Jeez, that really... Guys, this is what you paid for. This is what you paid for. I don't even know if we're going to make it all these damn stories. What's he going on about? Musical abilities and the long way to... I was asked, what's the most meaningful album to him? And finally, it is indeed 1991 Streets, a rock opera, because my brother, rest in peace, late Sabotage guitarist Chris Oliva produced. Paul O'Neill and I worked so hard on it. It took a year to record and had the most fun making it because it had so many songs and showcased every side of the band, and it really does. From Agony and Ecstasy to Believe and Somewhere in Time, that's probably my favorite. He also reminisced about the recording process, emphasizing how special that album was for him and the band. It was the first Savatage album recorded digitally. That means no tapes. Reel to reel, 2-inch. We were the guinea pigs at Record Plant. Since they had just gotten all the digital equipment, we were the first band to use it. It was amazing. One moment that stood out was recording the track Believe. One of the most emotional songs in Savatage's catalog. I sang Believe like 304 times, and they used the third take. He laughingly recalled. Even after decades, Savatage's music continues to captivate fans. When asked why the band's material remains relevant, Oliva points to its timeless quality. A lot of Savatage stuff doesn't sound dated. It reminds me of Black Sabbath's Paranoid. The album never gets old. I was listening to it the other day. You put it on, and it still stands out. I think that happens with Savatage too. Hall of the Mountain King. It's a good album there, John. For example, Hall of the Mountain King, for example, still stands the test of time. I agree. Oliva did confirm that a new Savatage album is nearly complete, though work on it has been sporadic. I basically have an album ready. I've been working on it off and on while you've been naturally healing your body. John, don't let the workload get in front of the health load, okay? I like the word sporadic for you because you need to naturally heal that spine. I've been working on it off and on, like I said. We're talking about touring before my accident. Can't do it now. I've been working on stuff for about a year. If I get the guys together to record, it's ready. But we wanted to do the tour first. No, you got to put the record out and get people pumped up, buddy. Don't you remember how to do them? Don't you remember how to do it? That's a man that. What are the bets on the septum? I mean, this is all hearsay. This is all, I don't know. If there was anybody that seemed coked up to me when I saw him back in, it was either Hall of the Mountain King or Gutter Ballet record, was that drummer, man. He had eyes on me the whole time like I looked like a little yummy pork chop he wanted to eat. I mean, literally. It was like I was just, I guess you need a focal point when you're rocking. He couldn't take his eyes off me. I looked like dessert to him. He's just like, oh. And every time I do something like, oh yeah, he'd be like, yes, little fella, yes. No, I don't know who the drummer was, but he had that weird caged system. I mean, he rocked, he kicked ass, but I just felt like energy on me. And I was an attractive young man. At one point. I would have been 3? I was a good-looking little son of a bitch. Let's get on to Heidi here. Heidi, see, things are going south today, guys. Like I've never done this before. Just think, fuck up. I hope everything is to your liking, me lord. Me liege. Me hopes this podcast is to your liking, me liege. Get the ads out. Butcher Babies, Heidi Shepperd. Now remember their ad. What do? 2 at a time? 2 poppers? This is the lovely Blabbermouth. We don't, add us up, baby. Add us up. Butcher Babies, Heidi Shepperd. Remember the other one? Carla left. Well, I saw this, and it says, Heidi Shepperd shoots down misconception that she can't sing. I was classically trained. Every time I've ever heard that in my life where they bring out the line, I was classically trained, means they can't sing. As soon as they say, I was classically trained, it's like, and I don't know if we're going to watch a video. There might be one down here, but I just wanted to get her take on this and what indeed is happening. I'll be the first one to admit that I'm not up on everything Butcher Baby, so I need this. In a new interview with the Adventures of Pipe Man, wow, there goes this laptop again. Butcher Baby's front woman, Heidi Shepperd, I'll just talk louder over the hum, spoke about her predominantly clean singing approach in the band's latest single, Sincerity, which came out last November. Maybe we got to check it out. When the interviewer noted that some people think that because she growls, she can't sing. Well, Heidi said, "You know, it is a weird misconception. I was a singer before I was a screamer." Honey. That is disgusting what I'm doing right now. That is borderline sexist. Clean singing. I was a singer before I was a screamer. Lost my spot. Oh, was this a blabbermouth interview? I like that. Heidi spoke about the clean singing approach in the band Sincerity, which came out last November, when the interviewer noted that some people, because she growls a lot, I don't think you can sing very good. This is her response, even though it says blabbermouth right there. It's a weird misconception. I was a singer before I was a screamer. I was classically trained, I dare have you say. But that is a misconception. When people will actually hear my clean vocals, oh, they will just love it. Oh, they'll love it. They will just love it. When people actually hear my clean vocals, they're like, oh my gosh, what am I hearing? Is that an angel? Oh, you can sing, girl. I'm like, well, I am in a band. Heidi also noted that without proper training, growl singing can damage your vocal cords beyond repair. Did she go to that lady? You see that lady all over on TikTok, and she's Will Ramos? She's trained them all, even that Russian guy that fights bears and tells her, "You stop, be quiet so I can scream without microphone." I mean, she teaches everyone how to growl. Maybe she's helped her. There's a technique that we learn along the way and down the road. And yeah, if you don't do it correctly, you could damage yourself permanently. And so I do take it very seriously, and especially being on tour, going back and forth between the cleans and the screams. But I've always done that. Our whole career, from the 15 years, I have always gone back and forth between the cleans and the screams. I've always done it. Anyone that ever says that I didn't always go back and forth from the cleans and screams, they're lying. I think before it hasn't been as highlighted as it was in Sincerity. Last November, the Butcher Babies shared a music video for Sincerity directed by Shepperd. Heidi? Really? She's a director. 2. Sings clean and screams and directs. One more swig in there. What do they say? Waste not, want not. Oh, and also Henry Fleury, guitarist Henry Fleury. They both directed it. There was a co-directing. Sincerity marked Butcher Baby's first release since the departure of co-founding co-vocalist Carla Harvey. When Sincerity was first released, Shepperd said in a statement, "Over the last decade and a half, the Butcher Babies have become known for our aggression and soaring melodies. This new release is no different, diving into real-life experiences and expectations while exposing the rawest parts of our souls. This single is about to invoke an emotional roller coaster between looking toward the future with hope while reminiscing of the past losses." Don't worry about the past anymore, Heidi. Wash it away. Shoulda, coulda, woulda's done it. What ifs and what nows, and not wash it out. The only one that's thinking about it is you. I'm telling you that, my friends. Anytime you waste on, oh, why did that happen? What did this do? Why didn't I do that? It's wasted time, because you know what? That time is gone. It's all erased. It's gone. You're the only one that remembers anything the way you remember it. Everyone else goes, what is he talking about? Huh? You did what? Okay. But you just boil it, percolate all those memories, and bad memories mostly, in your mind. Let it out. Wash it out. Right now is what counts. Right now. Not the future, not the past. We've talked about it before 1,000 times. It's a good thing we got our freaking... All right, okay, let's be done with this. We're going to get over to Zakk Wylde. Zakk, can you hold on a minute? Oh, he looks like he's in a patient waiting situation. Zakk, hold on a minute. We're going to get to your important stuff. But I want to talk about my Sammy Hagar stuff, because I'm going to give you a little splice. If you're in this podcast right now, you are lucky, because you are getting a splice. It's damn ads. Damn ads. I love you, Blabbermouth, but I don't know why they're popping up all of a sudden. It's never happened. The last couple it has. Anyways, Zakk, please hold. Please wait a minute. Chill. In 1969, Sammy Hagar says that he was abducted by aliens. And I'm going to hunt down the story of him talking about. I read his book, and I now vaguely remember that he mentioned he was abducted by aliens. But I'm about to show you something that I will also redo, because let's face it, there's about 6 of you that's going to see this whole thing right here. But I'm about to blow your mind with a little tune that Sammy Hagar wrote, and we're not going to listen to it because they'll ding me, but I'm going to show you the words. 1977, 69, he's 68, 69, he says he's abducted by aliens. 1977, he puts out a record. On that record, there was a song called Crack, and a lot of crack talk today. Crack in the world. Now, I'm going to start that song, but I got to stop it, because I want to get the words. He sat there and said that he was abducted by aliens. And in 1977, you can see right there, am I in the way of it? January 1st, 1977, Capitol Records. He wrote this song, put it at the end of the album called Crack in the World. Musical Chairs is the record. And here are the words. And prepare to just be blown away. I found out what's been driving me mad. There's no room to breathe between the good and the bad. Crushing it between, and there's thin line. But just around the corner, there's a change in design. And it goes on and on and on, but here's the part that's going to blow your skirt up. It's whatever you're wearing. It's going to blow it up. He says, there's a crack in the sky, there's a crack. Just 50 more years. We're all going to know why, when, where, how, and who gets to go. So let's all have a good time before the great divide, because things will start separating come 2025. Are you freaking out yet? So look for the subtle clues. It won't make the front page news. That depends upon which side that you choose. There's a crack in the world. Isn't that's 1977 when he says all that stuff. Now, do you know what they're saying about good side, what side you choose? It's very simple. You choose the happy, loving side, or you choose the angry, vitriol, hatred side. It's that simple. Whichever side, the aliens want to give you a big kiss on the lips. All right, let's get into. I know some of you are going, my mind has been blown. If there's any YouTubers out there, they're already making a video about it. If there's any YouTubers that watch this, and they don't, the heavy metal ones, they don't. But if they are, hello everybody, and welcome back to a new fresh video, what I just come up with right now. Telling you. I'm sorry, Zakk. You've been such a good boy sitting there. Just patiently. He hasn't moved a whisker. Not a whisker. I thank you for that, Zakk. Zakk Wylde names his most memorable recording studio moment. Now, it better be Ozzy. If it's anything other than Ozzy Osbourne, then he's, we may have a problem. As part of the EMG TV's 5 minutes. 5 minutes alone, they should have called it, since he's basically in Pantera now. It should have been 5 minutes alone with Zakk Wylde, but that's on the Kinky website. That's over there on OnlyFans. By the way, we do have a response from Lorraine in this episode. So I should probably kick it in the ass, shouldn't I? You think I would? You think I would? The longtime Ozzy Osbourne guitarist and Black Label Society frontman was asked to name his most memorable recording studio moment. He says, well, they're all different, because I would ask Ozzy Osbourne what was his favorite moments from Black Sabbath to with Randy Rhoads and Jakey Lee and everything like that. He was just always like, well... He said, well, I really like this one. With Oz, it was pretty much mostly whether he had a good time making specific albums or whatever. So for me, I always had a blast. You're doing what you love. You're making them records. But I know where Ozzy's coming from, too. Because you can't say that you love making records with Ozzy, because then the Black Label Society guys will feel bad. And the Southern Comfort Band, or whatever he was in, they'll be mad. But no, for me, I guess it would have to be Ozzy's Miracle Man. Or anything like that. It would have to be Ozzy's Miracle Man, or anything like that. There's only one. Actually hearing the playback, and when it was done, oh my heavens. And then I remember the first time I heard it on the radio. I said, is that the Miracle Man on the radio? Yeah, they were doing what they call those back then, a hot block. All right, welcome back, everybody. It's a breezy 103 degrees out today. Make sure you got sunscreen on, and we're back with our block of Ozzy Osbourne. This one's the Miracle Man. You know, when I was in high school and you go into the guidance counselor, I swear to you, he said, when they said, well, let's look at your grades. Let's look at everything about you, how you're doing in school and how you get in trouble, whatever you're doing. And let's see what jobs are good for you, for your future. And it was radio disc jockey. I swear it was something like sanitation. Although they're like, you had to call it something different, but it meant cleaning up garbage or something like that. And something else, but I remember disc jockey. So that always stuck with me. I went, a disc jockey. That's the ticket. I'll never do anything to do that. No. I'll never do any kind of training to do something like that. That would be fun to try and do. Oh, I heard the Miracle Man on the radio, and I says, wake me up. I'm coming home. Did I do something wrong here, guys? Miracle Man with the boss Ozzy, the first song the boss ever heard. Yeah, so it's pretty monumental. But I mean, obviously, no more tears, and maybe Mama, I'm coming home, and everything like that. And hearing those, but then, like with that Black Label Society stuff, whether it's stillborn, he's always got kind of that voice like that, but they go, stillborn. or Suicide Messiah, any of those, and then even up to the new one when I'm doing the Gallows, but even the Book of Shadows, even that record. I think if you ask any musician when they're hearing the playbacks, it's finally done, and it's the way you want it, it's awesome. The feeling of satisfaction from when you first wrote it to it coming to life before your eyes. It's the most beautiful, it's almost like a child, each album and song. So I think if you ask anybody, any musician, they'll say the same thing. Last September, Black Label Society released a brand new single titled The Gallows via MNRK Heavy. So did he really give us an answer? I don't think so. I mean, he did, but, you know, definitive. He liked Miracle Man, No More Tears. You know, but I wonder what Jakey Lee would say, what his favorites were. Let's get over to JJ French. We do want to check in. Look at the top of, look at, that's not the JJ French I used to know. That's the guy that just yelled at me at work. What do you think you're doing over there? I said, it's my lunch break. I don't give two Rudy Tooties if it's your lunch break. You don't do it there. And you don't do that, what you're doing there. Ever. It's obscene. Almost a serial killer, right, in that image? I mean, doesn't he kind of look like a census taker tried to once test me? I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti. You want me to do the... I know you were waiting for that. You were waiting for me to do that. Let's get into it. Is rock dead from this guy? JJ French. He's going to say... I wonder if he ever puts the makeup on and just goes, look at me. I still look good at it, even without the hair. I still look great. Is rock truly dead? Twisted Sister's JJ French, while he weighs in on the topic. In a new interview, hey, Sean P. McKenna's back with the rim shot with Sean. On Barstool and Band Talk, Twisted Sister guitarist JJ French spoke about how the perception that rock is dead often stems from a lack of visibility in mainstream charts. He's a smart cookie, isn't he? I agree with him. Those charts don't matter. You know, people say to me, what makes you say rock is dead? Well, here's my take on that, if you don't mind me doing it. When I was 17 years old back in 1969, that's the same time that Sammy Hagar, he was 17, wait a minute, he was 17 years old when Sammy Hagar was abducted by aliens. I was 17 years old back in 1969. All my favorite heroes, Beatles, the Rolling Stones, The Who, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, Jimi Hendrix, Bobby Dylan, because he used to go by Bobby Dylan before he went to Bob Dylan when he was like, you know, all proper. He used to be Bobby Dylan. The Grateful Dead, the Jefferson Airplane, you name it. You name them all. None of them were older than 27. Now think about this for a second. The greatest rock artists in the history of the world, when I was 17, were no older than 10 years more than me. Most of them were 25 to 27. Well, I say, name me a 27-year-old rock star right now and nobody can name one. Not a damn Rudy Tootie, not a one. I mean, is he right about that? I feel like he is. Nice big ad space there. Thank you for that. Empty, finally. Get an empty spot there. So, when you tell me rock isn't dead, man, it's all over the place. I go, well, okay, fine. I'm not saying that there are no rock bands. I'm just saying that the collective psyche that dictates current music trends and sociological impact of the music, okay, it's not showing up in the rock world in terms of mass acceptance. This guy's like a professor, kind of. What is showing up in the music world? Let me ask you that. What's showing up? I'll tell you what. Hip hop, huge. Country, huge. Female pop artists, huge. You can rattle off 20 rappers under the age of 25. You can rattle off 20 female pop singers under 25. You can. I wonder if he just sits at home and goes, I'm telling you, honey, rock is dead. You want me to rattle off 20 of my favorite female pop artists right now? Let me see if I can do it. Chappell Roan, Katy Perry. Oh, Katy Perry's. She's not 20-something. She's good, isn't she? Katy Perry. We got any Katy Perry fans out there? California girls, they're undeniable. Daisy Duke bikini on top. I mean, I had a huge crush on her. And then, when she became disgusting to me, Russell Brand, I went, I would never be with a woman like that. I would ever be with a guy like that. Never. You're not rattling off rock musicians. You can't rattle off 20 singers. You can rattle off 20 artists, country artists, by the ton you can. You're not rattling off rock musicians. It doesn't mean clearly that there's one creating it. It just means that the body of what we constitute as the standard rock act, 2 guitars, 1 bass, drums, lead singer, blah, 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 keyboards, JJ, keyboards, lead singer, blah, 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 blah. For the most part, by lodge, this is by and lodge. Is that how that goes? Over. And if it is over, and people say to me, well, how do you feel about that, man? I don't look at it and go, oh, why can't it come back? I go, you had a 55-year run. I mean, hell, what doesn't have 55? Big band had 20-year run, and jazz had a 20-year run. Really? They had 20-year runs. They had the runs for 20 years. Disco had a 7-year run. Then it all kind of comes as a niche product. Does it mean disco's not around? No. The fuck out of here. Disco's around for certain people who like to listen to disco music, thanks to the streaming services. You're not going to find it in a record shop. Which goes back to what I was talking about. The Bee Gees are still making money. They haven't put out an album in years. And you know what I'm saying? Remember, go back and watch the other episode we talked about streaming and CDs. It's all going to sell. There's always going to be a body of people out there buying it. Wonderful. But the youth of America is not absorbing it and saying, this is reflective of who we are. This guy's smart. I think we're done with him, but I was very smart. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the guy that yelled at me. I had a lady today. End of the day, we have dedicated parking spots, but it's in kind of it's not a strip mall, but a place, and the parking area there's not that much, but we have 2 spots. We put the trucks. My buddy pulls into his slot, and then this lady, she's parked in my spot, right? And she's out, and she's, right up. And I hit my horn because I'm right behind her. Beep, 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 beep. And she looks at me, and then keeps walking to the building. Beep, 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 beep. Looks at me again, and then stops. So I roll the window down, and I say, ma'am, you're in my spot. And she says, well, can't you just park somewhere else? And I said, no, ma'am, I can't. That's my designated parking spot. And she went, and she moved it over. I said, there's 3 more spots right next to me you can park. I hate to ruin your day. Rules are rules. Great guy here. Great guy. Lorraine. Then we're getting into Courtney. That video clip of her at the Grammys. Let's get a couple ads. Sure, let's pop them up. There we go. What is that? Godzilla commercialpopstopper.com? Where's that? I thought that thumb was something else for a minute, okay? When I saw this image, I thought that thumb was something else. And I was like, wow, really? Let me crack my goodie. And she's going to defend her facts. If you know what's going on here, you need to go listen to a bunch of podcasts from the past. But if you know what's going on, you know. She is getting Femme Fatale back together. She's working with doing on that, but she also says she wants to get belly to belly with her fans on OnlyFans. And now she's here to defend herself about that. Okay? And I'm not going to lie, guys. I mean, it's a stunning photo. It would be perfect for a Christmas card or something like that. You know, I mean, there's nothing about that I go, that's unattractive. Lorraine Lewis, but, you know, Miss Althea's like, I don't think that's a very good idea. And I also agree, but let's hear her out, okay? It's not our lives. It's her life. And she likes to get crazy. Remember, Cher told her that Cher said, I wish I would have been badder. And so Lorraine Lewis has taken that advice. In a new interview with the Chuck Shoot podcast from former Vixen and current Femme Fatale frontwoman, Lorraine Lewis stood by her decision to join OnlyFans. The 66-year-old current senior casting producer at the production company Renegade 83 said she joined the subscription. Frontwoman Lorraine Lewis stood by her decision to join OnlyFans. 66-year-old senior casting producer at the production company Renegade 83 said she joined the subscription-only site last fall after being interested in diversifying into various digital platforms, diversifying her portfolio, highlighting the fluidity and evolving nature of online content creation. Yes, okay. I am stoked about the OnlyFans. She says, the response has been amazing. I have wanted to join OnlyFans for a very, very, very long time. I just think it's a cool platform. It can be whatever you want it to be. I think a lot of people think it's just really porn. It's not. It doesn't have to be. It can be kinky. I mean, she's not saying that, but it can be different levels of porn. I mean, you can have that real fucking crazy shit down here, right? But you can have some light porn, some of that HBO late night stuff, you know. A lot of oils and people looking out windows. Oh, Bobby, I didn't realize you were here. I was just looking out at the garden. What are you doing? You know, that kind of stuff. I bet you could do some skits on there if she wanted to. I could write a couple. You know, I have wanted to join OnlyFans for a very long time. I think a lot of people think it's just really porn. It's not. It doesn't have to be. But it's sexy. I'll tell you that. Like, I'm hella sexy. The honest truth of this is I started it back in October, and I just kind of wanted to figure out the platform for myself. So I was only inviting certain people from my Instagram that I felt safe with. And I didn't do it. I guarantee you, if she met me, she would say, I'm safe with Shane. I'm going to let him in on the free thing, because although is that an app you got to put on your phone? I hate putting more apps on the phone. I'll straight turn it down. Lorraine Lewis could say, Shane, I'd like to give you a free subscription to OnlyFans for my free forever. And you won't believe what I do on there. You would not believe it. But If it means I got to put another app and log into another app, I'm sorry, Lorraine. I'm sorry. So I was only inviting certain people from my Instagram that I felt safe with, or that they would keep the secret. And they did. I mean, they did. So I had it up to about 20 subscribers, and then I knew that I wanted to announce it because I just didn't want it to come from somebody else. One of those 20. That's better than like the moon landing. You know what I mean? It's like to keep 20 people's mouths shut about seeing Lorraine Lewis's goodies. It's a hard pill to swallow. It's like those kids that sit there, and they put the big stack of cookies in front of them and say, leave the room. They say, okay, don't eat the cookies. You can have the cookies when I come back. We just got to go see Lord of the Rings, and we'll be back, but leave the cookies there, 20 people keeping their mouth shut, it's pretty damn good. And then I knew that I wanted it to go live. And then they go to Blabbermouth, or they go to you know what I mean? What they didn't go to me, Lorraine, but they went to Chuck Schute's podcast for sure. They didn't go to me to ask me anything about it, but I wish they did. I saw Mitch Schneider down here. I don't know who that is. 20 subscribers. And then I knew I wanted to announce it in a Blabbermouth. And then they go to Blabbermouth. And then they go to you. You know what I mean, Chuck Shute? They wouldn't go to that raggedy old Shane. No one listens to that crap. They listen to the Chuck Shute podcast more. I guarantee it. Probably tens of thousands more listen. Even hundreds of thousands more listen. They never listen to that old raggedy crap on Shane's show. That's garbage. Chuck's podcast is good. And I say, you know what I mean? And I wanted to be in control of my announcements. So I hired Mitch Schneider organization. They're very good. Mitch and I go way back in the back in the day. He was my publicist when I signed to Frontline Management and MCA. And I contacted him and I told him what was going on with my music and this and that and OnlyFans. And I said, I want to announce my OnlyFans. The secret must be unleashed. And so he said, great. So we did a press release. It went everywhere. And so I am so proud of myself that I was the one to be able to announce it. Lorraine went on to say that she currently has 560 subscribers who pay around $20 a month to view her content. That's good. How much money what that is? Can someone tell me? 560 times 20? That's good money. She's like, fuck femme fatale, really? I mean, who cares? It's been amazing. And the cool thing about it, bottom line is my theme song from 35 years ago has been, we know what it is. I'm waiting for the big one, for goodness sakes. So it just makes sense that a girl like me, a rock star like me, would take this to the next level and get them big ones. Don't do that kind of stuff, please, on your OnlyFans. I will never join. I don't want to see no big ones anywhere around there. I just want to, I'm always full of surprises, and this is just another level. Like doing what I want to do and living life to the fullest. And I do want her to live the life to the fullest. If I'm lucky, I've got 30 more years on the planet. Well, you remember, Lorraine, it's just your meat sack. Your consciousness will leave and go off and have just a whiz-bang of a good time. So don't worry fret too much about that. I can talk about this while I'm sipping tea when I'm 100. That's the spirit. This is just another phase of my life. I'm owning it. I'm embracing it. I'm in control of whatever I want to do. And, what's she going to say? And I just want to have fun. Old Lorraine just wanna have fun. Let's look at Courtney LaPlante, mistaken for Poppy at the 2025 Grammys. And from what I've heard, she's done such a demure job. Is that a dog's ass right there in the front? Who brings their damn dog? It's my, what do they call it? I mean, I understand the dogs that are needed for health reasons, but who on the red carpet of the Grammys has a stress in their life? They're all back. I saw a clip from Eminem where he said, "There's no voting for Grammys. They just pick and choose who they want to choose, unless the album or whatever is such a cultural kaboom that it just everyone hears about. Then they have to give it to that person. But if they can give it to Beyonce every year, they will." Gonna watch this very quick, guys. Again, you will not see it if somehow they go, well, that's from the Grammys, we're copyrighting that. And then we got your comments. So let's get into it. There she is, all in the splendor, Spirit Box lead singer, and they're going to call her Poppy, and we're going to watch how she handles this. And I am going to shut my mouth. And you are loving that right now, aren't you? You're like, yes! Oh, fuck, he's going to shut his mouth for 5 seconds. Here we go.
So we're here with rock royalty, Poppy. No, you are. I mean, you got nominated against Judas Priest, who I just talked to.
I have
Metallica.
to say, I am Poppy, and I am really happy to be here, nominated with Knocked Loose. I really hope we
with
win.
Knocked Loose, yeah.
This is not your first nomination, right?
No, I actually was nominated in, I believe, 2020. Really happy to be here again. Would love to take home the Grammy for Knocked Loose and myself, because I would be the first woman to win this award.
Wow. How many women have been nominated for it?
I actually haven't looked at that, but I just always know that, it's time for one of us to win.
Oh my God, is that Lincoln Park?
I hope it's...
I'm sorry, Courtney, to cut you off, but is that Lincoln Head right there? So one thing, I don't know why. All right, I'm sorry about that.
Me or Spirit Box and Courtney.
Awesome. We have a question from Live Nation for you.
First of all, your album is amazing.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Congratulations. So, for looking back on your journey, I just want to know, are there any particular moments or milestones that you feel were pivotal in bringing you to this point?
Plastic question about what's the milestones in your life, and they don't even know the right they're not even speaking to the person that they think they're speaking to.
I think the biggest moment honestly, it felt amazing for everybody in our scene, was performing on Jimmy Kimmel with Knocked Loose playing Suffocate. I think that was a huge moment for our scene, and it was an incredible experience to be brought into the mainstream, but to not have to compromise or change who we are, or
that is great.
Be a little bit more tame for the camera. And I did actually accidentally swear on TV, so it was awesome.
Thank you so much.
She's totally playing the part as Poppy, and she knows that's great. Okay, just
I'm curious as to when we're talking about females in metal, women in metal. Why do you think more women haven't been nominated or haven't won?
It's a boys' club.
I think just like anybody who's been a part of genre of music or a workplace or something where they are the odd man out, they're the minority in there, aside from the whole reason of maybe...
Hey, that's my man's got a girlfriend and he hate that dick. I think that's the Offspring guy right there. Sorry, Courtney.
Why a lot of women don't feel comfortable getting up on stage and playing heavy music, or feel like we can go to the shows and have fun with our friends.
Yeah.
I just think it's like any field. If the field is dominated by the group that you aren't assigned to, you're always just gonna have to work a little harder, be a little better, just
Very
to get
poignant.
a little bit of the respect that maybe somebody who you walk in and you can empathize with them can get. So it's no different in music, or if you're in a male-dominated field of work. You know, we all kind of have the same experience.
Well, congratulations on your nomination. You look fabulous.
Thank you.
And yeah, it's stiff competition tonight, but this might be your year.
We'll see. I hope so. And I think that I'm just honored to be here, and the guys deserve it.
Oh my God, she's fantastic. She is fantastic because she played that part. She probably played the part better than Poppy would have done, because doesn't Poppy just go bleep, blop, bleep? You know, when she's not screaming. But how great of her to go through and talk about a performance she wasn't even at on Jimmy Kimmel. Now, you know what needs to happen? Now, mentally, I'm thinking to myself, you know what's going to happen? Jimmy Kimmel's going to get a hold of this and say, guess what? Spirit Box is going to be on the show. Just so they can rock a tune because of how cool that was. Let's get into your comments. That's right. My God, this podcast is going to be whacked. It's going to be bad. But that gives me something to shoot for, you know. When you have a bad podcast, it gives me something to shoot for. I say, well, I can simply do better than that. Let's get it. A big tone comes in. He said, Brother Shane, oh man, I got to tell you, I think I can speak for the rat and rollers out here. Or at least the divine Miss Althea and myself when I say how great it would be if the original members of RAT would put aside the petty business garbage and give the fans another taste of that rat magic. And as for your Lorraine L. question, being a gentleman, I can neither confirm nor deny any carnal knowledge. Because we asked him if he, you know, because he said his friend was the drummer for Femme Fatale for a bit. So, you know, we was wondering if he got the big one, I guess. Great JT. He says, great JT as always. Rock on and keep 'em coming. Heavy metal emoticon. There's your heart, my friend. Miss Althea coming in here. I want to apologize for stopping Courtney LaPlante right in the middle of where she is speaking on the rise of women in the heavy metal and why they haven't won any more awards. And I got to stop the goddamn button to go, hey, it's the Offspring guy. Ain't it just like a man to do that? That's the Offspring guy. That was not the proper time. Miss Althea coming in with this. The dumbstruck fool says, deepest condolences to our man, Mike Buchanan. Yes. Any and all of us who have ever gone through losing a parent, Dan and myself included, are with you. All our best to you and your family. Stay strong, brother. Very good. Yes. Mike Buchanan had a loss in the family. Just like me. We both lost mothers. His was probably, I've got about a 90% chance of saying she was probably a wonderful lady. That, and that's not to say that my mom wasn't a wonderful lady. It's just to say that we'll just leave it there. Miss Althea says, Piercy and DeMartini, the concert they want to do. Well, I absolutely do hope to be going. Yep. To day 3 of the M3 Festival. The venue is within walking distance of where I work, for crying out loud. That's great. But it depends on how many single-day tickets remain after the initial sale window closes for the 3-day pass VIP package. Oh, so the first out of the gate's going to be the 3 days, and then whatever's leftovers, that's how they do that? I mean, how can I miss Warren and Blas Elias, 2 of my hottest rock guys of all time, together on the same stage? They will be moistening with their sweat glands. They will be moistening the air and the oxygens that will perspirate all over your skin. You'd be happy about it. Having Ace and Warrant preceding them on the bill is an added bonus. That's who's with them, huh? I have a lot of lost time to make up for. The number of shows I have opted out of over the past few years is probably closing in the numbers of shows I have gone to. Did that even make sense? No, it didn't. But what you're saying, I think, is you've opted to stay home or not go to more concerts than you actually went to. Miss Althea says, Ozzy and the freedom of the city honor. Anyone want to put bets on him being knighted before he dies? Yeah, gotta be. And what about other Birmingham rockers like Judas Priest and Duran Duran? Aren't they or weren't they contributing members of the community? Very good point. Hopefully someone there in Brum is making notes. Let's see. Wait. Yeah. Maybe it's someone there in Aussies from Brum is making notes regarding Sharon's color combo choices of lavender and yellow. Canary yellow. No. So you're with me on that. You're saying that's a no-go colors. Especially the lavender. If you're going to go yellow, go for it. Like Striper, and that would have been a great color, black, to go with that. But it was the lavender and yellow, it would hurt my eyes. I could maybe give her a pass if it were Easter time. Okay, pastel. If we're pretending they're pastels. But this time of year with Valentine's Day 2 weeks away, yeah, it's got to be red. And that's what she should be doing for her beloved, Ozzy Osbourne. Oh, and another thing I wanted to talk about too is I've gotten this feeling that when I'm moving around down here, that somebody might be uncomfortable with that, thinking that I'm playing with myself, but I'm not. Usually my legs and shit itch, so I'll be doing some of this, but it'll be itching legs. It won't be playing with myself, okay? So don't think that that's what's going on. I got both my hands here. Do you see? I need them both to be doing all of this. Which brings me to another thing, but it's for another time. Someone get in the comments and say, Shane, last week you were doing this. If you can somehow put that into words. Miss Althea on Jeff Tate. I have zero recollection of Operation Mindcrime 2. Thank you. Therefore, talk of a third installment is lost on me. I am in the minority anyway in that the first one is not one of my favorite Queensryche albums. I prefer Empire or even Rage for Order. I wrote this in a first listen comment somewhat recently, but I will shamelessly write it again here. Or you can copy and paste, that works too. There was a photo story, quote, shoot Heide did for Shocks Magazine 1992. I'm remembering this now, volume 9 to be specific. That I felt had a kind of sort of Mindcrime vibe to it. He was paired with the guitarist from the band Bisexual, Rio. Is that how you say it? Yes, you read that right. The band's name was Bisexual. This visual setup was that Heide was a priest and Rio was a nun. And yes, the dude was repping a nun. Oh, we're like bench pressing? Spoiler, at the end of the story, the priest, Heide, killed the nun, Rio, with a sword. So there's that. Is that something we could see? I mean, is it, Heide does the killing? I think we get away with that if it's Heide. Miss Althea on Blackie Lawless, blah, 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 blah. I agree that tour name is about as appealing as Sharon Osbourne's color combo choices. Yes, I was the one who spoke of the Cologuard. Yes, the ad that... yeah. So my brains aren't complete shit. Miss Althea on Nico McBrain's Rock and Roll Ribs. I have no desire to travel to Florida. Me neither. But I am all about pulled pork and coleslaw. So if his barbecue venture decides to expand at the Delmavar, Delaware Maryland, Virginia region, I would definitely check it out. I looked up the address on Google Maps, and it looks like his place is competition with the Buffalo Wild Wings across the street. That's rough. I'm almost sure that Buffalo Wild Wings is going to have an option. They're going to have some kind of a ribs option there, or more meats to choose from than just wings. And there's another issue that Nico runs into with his rib place, is that you can go into any convenience store and buy gift cards for Buffalo Wild Wings. You can't get those for Rock and Roll Ribs. So that's a situation there. There you go, Miss Althea. Well done. I am getting... we got to go. We got some stuff to read here. But and I'm not even pinching anything off or anything. So I'm trying to just get through this as quickly as possible to get to the restroom, but with maximum fun involved. Sticky Doll coming in says, we are sexual perverts, aka Wasp, tour 2025 dubbed Blackie Heart's chocolate cake like a beast. He is a chocolate cake head. It's true. And one of those VIPs that he does backstage, someone says, what kind of dessert do you like, Blackie? He went, what kind of dessert do I like? Very interesting. I'll answer that after I answer this one. So on the Fuck Like a Beast record, Blackie will be sporting his all-new canary yellow pantsuit with saw blade shoulder pads. I love it. I'd see that. I want to see that. Who's this? Syl? Oh, she's answering the Marianne Faithful. Marianne Faithful was one time. I'm sorry, Syl, if you're not a man, woman, or anything else, but you're you. Marianne Faithful was a one-time girlfriend of Mick Jagger and a Rolling Stone muse. I believe their song, As Tears Go By, was written for her. Okay, well, I didn't know that. I that name stuck out for some reason. I don't recognize any of that. Mike Buchanan coming in here, and he's had a rough couple of weeks. I've been mostly offline this past week. What did I miss? First, I want to give my very heartfelt thanks for all the well wishes I've received. Shane's channel truly feels like a family. That's what I want it to be. That's exactly what I want it to be. Second, I am back and I will be concluding this week's movies that are bad, but we love them anyways. Doll Man versus the Demonic Toys. So we did bed show. He's going to say it all. I keep cutting off everybody because I want to I say the answer before I read it because it makes me feel like some kind of way. I don't know. Demonic Toys, 1993, a very rare trifecta of a triple sequel. Doll Man, Bad Channels, and Demonic Toys. I'll be moving away from the Full Moon movies for a while. I'm sure they will show back up at some point. The Demonic Toys are back, but this time they have met their match in the form of an almighty doll man, played by genre icon Tim Thomerson. This pint-sized hero soon starts taking out these silly-ass toys left and right. Sounds like this could have been a terrific film, huh? Timerson, the pint-sized hero starts taking out these silly-ass toys left and right. Oh, he's taking them out, kicking their ass. Sounds like this could have been a terrific film. Unfortunately, at 72 minutes, it doesn't pack much punch, especially when about 15 minutes of it is stock footage from Doll Man, the first Demonic Toys, and Bad Channels. From all of those. I read like hell. Phil Fondacaro as a security guard and Tracy Scoggins, hear my guts, reprising her role from the original Demonic Toys, are completely wasted in this film. The film is pretty silly. Aside from the Doll Man and the Demonic Toys franchise, it also incorporates another full moon schlockfest bad channels as Doll Man finds himself the pint-sized woman thanks in part to the one being left behind the aforementioned film. I hope I'm reading this good. Even though they used the nurse character when in actuality the student character was the one left behind. Whatever, it's all good. While not the greatest of movies, Doll Man versus the Demonic Toys is a fun watch and wraps up the franchise well enough. Grab your favorite beverage, sit in your favorite chair, pop some popcorn, and press that play button. Mike Buchanan says, you know what? I never gave it a thought until you mentioned all across the galaxy that maybe someday some alien species out there will be banging their heads to Shane Diablo's reaction videos. That'd be great. Maybe even a planet for that. This gives me a chuckle just thinking about it. Mike Buchanan says, dude, I'll be standing behind Miss Althea at the Rat Show. Or will I? You'll never know. Okay, we all know that they will never have Bobby Blotzer back in the band. I mean, did he do something just to really, I was going to say jerk him off, but just something to be really jerky? Did he do something to be some real jerky to him? Miss Althea, watch your back at that concert. I'll tell you what. Here's a code. Eat a pretzel. If they got a nice hot buttered pretzel there, that you say anyone that's standing somewhere behind me, Miss Althea, you say anyone that's standing somewhere behind me eating a pretzel, I'll know who it is. Dude, there's something wrong with all of us, Mike Buchanan says, as we keep coming back week after week to watch your podcast. Raise a drink for the diehard Shaniacs. I like that. I'll raise a drink to that. Again, dry lips. Yes. What do I get? So I can just get, is it lip balm? Is that what you get? Because the chapstick just makes them more chapped. And it's getting me chapped. Shane, if you go listen to Stargazer, that's the Rainbow song, I'm certain that you will remember it. It's one of Rainbow's best songs. It's an 8+ minute masterpiece, complete with a drum solo beginning. I would say my favorite of the Dio years. Not a request. Very good. Mike Buchanan says, Queensryche won't play anything off of the Operation Mindcrime 2 album. The album takes place 18 years after the first, with Nicky being released from prison. It's believed that Geoff Tate and their bass player at the time were the only ones that fully played on the album, and that the other members had very little to do with it. Sorry, guys, I'm very burpy. And I got to go to the bathroom, guys. And I know this is terrible to do. But I might just have to do it. I mean, it's been a long time, Miss Althea, since I had to do this. Let's see. Yeah, my guts are just saying, just go, Shane, just go. Go to the bathroom. It's believed that Geoff Tate and the bass player were the only ones that do it. This is coming from sworn declaration by producer Jason Slater. He said that a lot of the guitar tracks were recorded by engineer Mitch Doran. Really? From what I understand, the band didn't really see why they needed to record a continuation to the first album, and that Tate was the one pushing for it. On its own, it's a decent album, but far from what the first album was. I like that first one. I had a buddy that really liked it. You'd go to a house party, and he stood in the living room. Everyone's just rocking out metal and stuff. And Operation Mindcrime cassette tape started up, and he stood and mimicked the whole album, every track. All about now except for the memories. House full of people having a good time. I'm just over there going, man, I just want to get a lady friend. I'm just looking for a good lady friend around here. I'm just looking for a nice little girl. What's wrong with that? I want to get myself a girlfriend. I want to have a drink and have a girlfriend. And he's over there, all alone now except for the... And then I think someone came over and turned it off, That's it. No more of that. From what I produced, Jason Slater, and he needed to record the continuation of the album. Tate was the one pushing for it on its own, and it's a decent album, but wasn't as good as the first one. No idea that he was thinking of recording a third version of Operation Mindcrime. And then Mike Buchanan says, Wasp album 1 Alive tour is just a continuation of the 40th anniversary tour, as to which I shall not speak of, as they canceled my tour stop. Yes. Sorry, there will be no Jive Talkin jokes of the week. I'm just not feeling that funny, the funny yet. You'll just have to come back and watch episode 166 next week. Take care. Hey, I got you. I understand. MB coming in. I want to be somebody too. Would be a better tour name for sure. Even better if he took Chris and Johnny Rod out with him. But he wants all the money and all the attention, so we get a bunch of forgettable nobodies whose names I don't remember. True enough. And I do agree. I want to be somebody too. That's perfect. Bang. There's your heart. Beata coming in. I got a rose emoticon, heavy metal emoticon. Rose, heavy metal emoticon. Thank you. Johnny B coming in here, and I feel like I can make it through this. I feel like I can almost have a swig of this. I have this. I don't know what. I'm just kind of zippy all over the place today. But I was watching one of them. Tyler Henry, that he's the psychic guy, and he scribbles on that pad. I got my pad right here because I wrote things on it that I wanted to talk to you guys about. And he sits there like this, and he's like, and we've got, hold on a minute. Did someone's mom die? Oh, okay. And so I've got that kind of energy going on. I'm very flighty brained. I mean, it's interesting what he can do. It's on Netflix. You can go and watch like 20 episodes of it or whatever. But when you look off like that, I feel like what I was telling myself when I was watching it is if I was a psychic, I would be more proper and eye connecting with him. Because it does come across like you're going, what else can I say? I'm getting coughing in the lungs. Does someone, because someone's over on the couch going, hitting, coughing in the lung, that's Daddy. And then he's like, it was that, I'm getting a male figure. I'm freaking losing it. I'm losing it. Let's get into Johnny B and we're going to get out of here. Blackie Lawless needs help renaming his tour. Album 1 Alive is not only the worst name, but completely unoriginal and void of being unique. Your impression of him sitting back in his seat with his arms crossed, answering questions was spot on. He's an old curmudgeon and just needs to retire or go score B-movie films. You get some money for that. Have you ever seen Wasp in that movie? What was it called? I can't remember the name of it now, but they're in it. It's a time-jumping horror movie from back in the early 80s. I met him a while back, and he did exactly what you did on the podcast. Leaned back in the chair and answered the question like he was the king. It was truly funny. What was the question you asked him? The one I saw was, that Almost Human Schmackety Gob guy? I think I've subscribed to his channel. I like him. he asked a question about being in the Village People movie. What was it like being in the...
Oh my God, I thought that nobody remembered. Oh, I'll answer that question after I answer this. So,
You know. There we go. But Johnny B says Operation Mindcrime Part 3 piqued my interest for about 1 second. Geoff pronounced Geoff Tate. Is it really Geoff? Because now I feel like that is proper. Said he's working on it, but with who? Is he planning to involve his former bandmates? Or will it be a Geoff Tate Presents type of a situation? If so, I'm out. If it's the original Queensryche, I might entertain the idea of listening to it. Well, and Rockenfield on the drums, he's pissed off everybody, apparently. But man, oh man, he played. Take Hold of the Flame, those drums, what's going, so take hold of the flame. You know that. Oh man, I'm like, just great drum playing. Johnny B on Nico McBrain. Love him. Amazing drummer and extremely awesome personality. Ribs? Who doesn't love barbecue ribs? Nico McBrain is opening a barbecue rib joint? Question mark. And in Florida? Question mark. Okay. I'm all in. In fact, I'll be in Florida in April. And I'm almost certain you're going to be in Coral, Florida, though. And I'm almost certain his restaurant will be one of our stops. I'll grab you something as a moment. I'll grab you something as a moment out you would like. What? Momento. That's what you meant. I just want a big wet kiss from Nico McBrain. Is that too hard to, is that too much to ask for? He's a great damn guy. He'll give you a big smooch on the cheek. He say, you goddamn right, I'll give you a kiss on the cheeks. Then his wife, you know, should come over and assault me. Johnny B says, that's it for me this week. It's cold where I live and I'm sick and tired of it. Need a nice long break from this frigid hell. Awesome episode, Shane. Until next time, keep looking up and keep asking questions. Now, how great was that Sammy Hagar bit that I gave you guys? That you guys still haven't recovered from that. Now, there might be two of you that go, oh yeah, I knew those words. There might even be one of you that says, yeah, dummy, I put that somewhere that you should have seen it. And you haven't. But nevertheless, guys, you rock so much. I thank you so much for tuning in each and every week. I would do these. Yes, I will continue to do these because I love to, you know, have my time with myself. But I do appreciate that you guys tune in and take the time to write me such lovely comments because it really is about that. That's what I like to do. The news is just a part of it, right? We want to get, we're just going to bust a tune to get out of here, okay? I've had enough of it. Lady parked trying, you know, she was so pissed off when she parked in my parking stall. And I said, ma'am, I'm in a great big truck, massive truck. Ma'am, I need to park there. I'm a busy person, and you are really mucking up my timing. Humans living on that space and time, you know, time continuum. good night for a kiss. I'm in 1, 2, or 3.